guys, welcome back to another video. Thank you so much for tuning in. So today's topic conversation is going to be a little bit of a deep one surrounding the death of Sarah Everard. There's a lot of conversation regarding women's safety and violent men. There's been some statements thrown about. We're going to talk about the 6 p.m. curfew for men that was suggested. I'm going to let you guys listen to the interview Baroness Jenny Jones had, who is a member of the Green Party, explaining her reasoning for suggesting the 6 p.m. curfew for men, which is, by the way, was a suggestion. This is a massive conversation. I think this is definitely something that is not new now. Whenever something big happens, it just kind of digs up conversations that we need to have, and it's a reminder that there are still things that are not dealt with, how women feel and women expressing that, and also where men are coming from. So your thoughts would definitely be appreciated in this conversation. I kind of want to step back a little bit and hear where people's thoughts are about that. This is too much of a big discussion for me to have it alone. If you ever wanted to support my channel, in the description is my PayPal and my Cash.app. Let's jump right into the video.
Entirely serious suggestion, because I don't have the power to do that. I was just trying to highlight the fact that when the police victim blame by asking women to stay home, we don't react. We just think it's normal, protect women. And in fact, when I suggested about men, everybody's up in arms. So where's the difference? The difference is that there is misogyny out there, and we need to fix it. A UN report just said that virtually all women, young women in the UK, have been sexually harassed. And so that might be just wolf whistles, or it might be groping in bars or clubs. But basically, women experience this on a daily basis.
So that was Baroness Jenny Jones, a Green Party peer who suggested a 6 p.m. curfew for men in the wake of Sarah Everard's disappearance. She says, and I quote, "I just don't think that men understand the pressure that women are under." She also says nobody makes a fuss when, for example, the police suggest women stay home, but when I suggest it, men are in up in arms. She says, "I was trying to highlight that when the police victim blame by asking women to stay home, we don't react, we just think it's normal." She was asked if this would be inflicting on men what women have to endure, even though it is self-imposed. She replied, "Exactly, that's my exact point." She then added, "If this has sparked intense scrutiny, I'm really happy." She says that misogyny should be made a hate crime, adding that while all men are not abusers, all men can help stamp it out of society. I also wanted to play, bear with me, a clip from Jay Perry, who used to be in the S Club Juniors, where he shared advice he received from women to make them feel safer from men on the street. Let's just have a listen.
Picking up the phone and calling a loved one, calling your mum or a partner or something, can kind of break that awkward silence in their moments and alleviate so much anxiety.
Right, so saying "hi mum" would make the person standing next to you think, "Oh, okay," and relax it.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think it's just a really easy thing that you can do as a guy to just break that silence. And also, it shows that you're way more interested in your phone call than you are in the person in front of you. I think physically creating distance and space always was a running theme that women were talking about. I think that's something I did before. I'd cross the road a lot of the time when I'm in the street with a lone woman.
He says, "Hi ladies, I'm super conscious as a man when walking behind a lone woman at night. Often I cross the street to alleviate as much anxiety as possible. What other advice can you offer to me to be a better ally in this situation?" I just quickly, lastly, wanted to read out a comment Marcus Rashford stated. He says, "Men, we have a role to play to listen, to protect, and to allow women to feel safe at whatever time of day." Do you know what is crazy thinking about this is how this is happening during Women's Month? And also, just to quickly add, the Met Police Wayne Cousin has been charged with the unfortunate murder of Sarah Everard. Let's have a look at this video.
First thing I did was, can we change that please? Accept it as given now. So this story is about male violence and about men being violent towards women. And yet all day, the strap that the viewers can see beneath us right now has been saying women's safety concerns. And that immediately frames the entire debate as if it's your problem as a woman. It's your problem to deal with. It's your problem to solve. But this is not about you. This is not about women. Women are the victims. This is about men. And so I came in and the first thing I did was, can we change that, please, to, I think it now says male violence against women. And that reframes it and makes it about us. Because it is about us, it's about men. We are the culprits here. Whether we like it or not, this is about men. And we have to deal with that fact. And we can't even start to have that debate unless we start to reframe it with men at the centre of it. And it's great that you have hundreds and thousands of women telling their story. It's really good. But we need men to start talking about it, and we can't do that unless we centre us in the discussions.
But you've got men who are going to say, listen, I'm not a predator, I'm not a rapist, I want to help, I understand. So how do you get men involved in the conversation in a meaningful way?
The first thing you have to do is, and I do this when I go and talk. I was in a school yesterday talking about this, and the first thing I say to them is, look, I'm not talking about you as an individual. This is not about you and your behaviour. Maybe it is, that's your reckoning to deal with, but actually this is about us as a society. This is about the collective socialisation of men that has led to some men becoming predatory, becoming harmful towards women. And some, we're not even talking specifically about predatory behaviour. This is day-to-day stuff that we hear from women too. And it's about what we as men can do to try and prevent our brothers from ending up as one of those awful statistics of a rapist or someone who's violent. Because I don't want anyone to be a victim. I also don't want anyone to be a perpetrator either. And so many men, you know, we hear about this, the Not All Men campaign, but we have to accept the reality. 90% of murderers are male. 87% of crime against a person is committed by men. 97% of sexual offences are committed by men.
That was Chris Hemmings, who is a journalist and public speaker who focuses on men, masculinity. That was a really, really great discussion, and I love what he said about putting men at the centre of this conversation. The death of Sarah Everard has sparked a national conversation. Everybody is talking about it. This conversation is not about men versus women. It's about how can women be protected? How can society protect men? I said this in my last video. It's scary to me at the fact that an officer has been charged. An officer. I saw somebody make a comment about his mental health or something like that, and that's concerning to me because the guy has still been working. How is it suddenly that he's now being rushed to hospital because of some head injuries, and now here comes that mental health word, which I was like, I don't even want to hear that word, because let's not bring any distraction to what the actual issue is. Somebody says, a message for all, saying not all men are bad. The problem isn't that we don't believe that you or your husband, boyfriend, father, brother are good men. No, the problem is that you don't believe us when we say not all men are good. Hashtag male violence, women supporting women. 100%, you know, recently I did a video about Ivorian doll, and so many of you guys that commented, thank you so much for sharing your stories. Somebody said something about the sad part is that when women want to speak, they are basically told that they're lying or they're not believed, and that's sad. We need more men to speak up. We need more men to step up and speak out. We need more men to actually take on the burden of this type of conversation, as heavy as it is. Nobody is saying that you personally are the perpetrator or you personally is the predator. Nobody is saying that, but as a man, can you cover women? Can you stand up and speak, take responsibility and say, do you know what, there needs to be a change, like we need to do something about this. It's not about putting the focus on, oh, women should stay home, women should not be promiscuous, women should not wear revealing clothes, women shouldn't be walking home alone, women shouldn't be doing that. And that is what the narrative is for most of the time, and that's a big problem. Why is the focus always on women, women, women? But like he says, more than 90% of these specific crimes come from men, but yet when it comes to us talking about it, when it comes to us looking at the issue, we're always putting the focus on what women need to do or what women shouldn't should or shouldn't do. No, how about what men can do to help? How about how men should be educated? The discussion is about male violence. It's not the responsibility of a woman to fix a man who can't exercise self-control, you know, to fix a man who can't take a no. Like, that's not a woman's responsibility. Like, why is nobody addressing men? There is absolutely no excuse. The more excuses we allow, the more these things are just shoved under the rug, shoved under the carpet, and it's just crazy. It's absolutely insane. And what people have to understand is that media language matters. It makes such a massive difference, and that's what I loved about what Chris Hemmings was saying. It's about reframing and restructuring the conversation, you know, changing it from women's safety to male violence, because the focus shouldn't be about women. Forget about how women dress, forget about women walking home alone, forget about all of that stuff. And even the point that Jay Perry made, you know, just little steps that you can make. It's about being a community, it's about creating safety within our society. Davina McCall made a comment saying female abduction murder is extremely rare. Yes, we should be vigilant when out alone, but this level of fear-mongering isn't healthy, and men's mental health is an issue as well. Calling all men out as dangerous is bad for our sons, brothers and partners. That is absolutely ridiculous. How can you as a woman be saying men's mental health is an issue as well? Nobody is neglecting that. Like, nobody's talking about that. We're not talking about mental health. Like, this is the problem. People need to stop throwing this whole mental health word about. Nobody is saying that all men out there are dangerous. Nobody is saying that. Nobody's saying that they are bad. And also, I don't know where she gets that idea that female abduction is rare. It's not rare. Rare is something that is like, this happens once in a blue moon. I hear far too often women, young girls going missing, vanishing. I definitely would not suggest that that is rare. Yes, the discussion possibly is, you know, is fear mongering. Like, maybe it's injecting a level of fear, but in actual fact, it's creating conversation. Like I said, this story has sparked a national conversation. Let me know what your thoughts are. I definitely want to expand this conversation, because it's just crazy what's happened to Sarah. I'm really happy to see men stepping up and actually having conversations and actually making these type of statements and saying, no, do you know what, take the spotlight off of the women. Men, let's face this, let's look at ourselves in the mirror and let's actually face the fact. And I love that. To me, that's what a man is about. It's about being a protector. This could be your daughter, your mum, your sister. Do you know what I mean? It's like, why don't you take your position? Thank you so much for tuning in, guys. I really do appreciate it. If you are new to my channel, feel free to hit the subscribe button. Don't forget to hit your notification bell, and I'll speak to you guys in my next video.